The more mistakes you make, the more lessons you learn. That's the great thing about teaching yourself stuff, is you're not learning from other people's experiences, which you might in a book or in a textbook or something like that. You're learning from your own. And those are the lessons that stick with you. Those are the ones that are hardwired into you. Go, oh, okay. I tried that once before. You just don't want to repeat your mistakes over and over and over again. Ideally, you want to move on beyond them. But if you don't feel willing to make mistakes, you're not going to make progress. If you're disappointed that you didn't reach perfection right away, which is completely unreasonable, if you don't feel like you are okay with making a mistake, do a bit of self-examination. Say to yourself, why am I so afraid to screw up? What's going on? Because in all things, whether it's learning to walk when you were a year and a half old to, anything you ever learned in life, it all comes from being tested, pushing yourself into new and unfamiliar terrain, screwing up, picking yourself back up and carrying on. So you should embrace mistakes. You should embrace these things and say, okay, this is great. I learned something. And think about what you actually learned. Don't just go, oh, that's terrible. That's not a conclusion. What you have to say is like, why? These are all things that go on in the process of learning. And here's another thing I'll tell you. We have this impression that like you go to art school, you graduate in 4 years, or you go into grad school, whatever it is, that you've somehow learned and now you're an artist. It's not true. You never stop learning. You never stop making mistakes, trying out new things, going to new places. If you do feel like you've reached a plateau and you know it all, I don't think your work is going to be very successful. I think it's through these mistakes, through these experiments that we progress. So get used to the idea that you're never going to be all the way educated. You're always going to be trying stuff out. And you look at all of the great artists, that's what they're doing. The ones who freeze they tend to be very commercial. If you're a cartoonist, or if you're an illustrator, or if you draw make a very particular kind of painting, and people expect you to do that. Oh, I don't want you experimenting. I wanted to buy, a thing, and I want it to be the certain way. Yeah, cookie cutter stuff, and after a while you can hand it off to an assistant and they can do the work for you. But I think the artists who really matter are the ones who are constantly expressing themselves as they change. And they're finding new ways to capture that expression, to capture those experiences, to capture the changes in themselves. And that takes new techniques. It might take new materials. It's just new ways of saying, like, how do I capture this part of my experience and convey it out there? If I know immediately how to do it, I'm going to become like one of those actors that's like a character actor who always plays like a certain kind of, character in a movie. But that's not what you want to do. You want to be, able to try lots of different roles and try lots of different things. And that's what this is all about. So